Hi guys! Welcome back to the YSB channel. And before we start, gusto ko lang kayo batiin na happy 300 subscribers sa ating YSB family. And sana po makatulong pa po ang Your Study Buddy sa iba't iba pa pong students out there. So our lesson for today ay about sa proving ng limits, ng special limits ng trigonometric functions because I've been into limits lately. So I hope you'll learn something from me. I am Kim, your study buddy. So we have what we call special limits ng trigonometric functions, and those are first, the limit of sine x all over x as x approaches to 0. This will be equal to 1. Pangalawa is the limit of 1 minus cosine x all over x as x approaches to 0. This will be equal to 0. And the last one is the limit of tangent x all over x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 1. Okay, so these are the three common na special limits ng trigonometric functions. And there are two ways para mapatunayan natin o ma-prove natin that these are true. And the first way to prove that is using your calculator. Let's start with the limit of sine x all over x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 1. So, ipoprove natin na ito ay tama or ito ay true. So, to do that, we'll just have to input a value na sobrang lapit kay 0. And so, ano bang malapit kay 0? 0.000001. Tapos, ipapalit po natin siya kay x, and that will be sine 0.000001 all over 0.000001. So, before you input this to your calculator, make sure na naka-red po kayo. So, lagay natin shift mode, then 4. Okay? At dahil naka-red na kayo, you can just input sine 0.000001 all over 0.000001. Tas equals natin. So, your answer will be equal to 1. So, ibig sabihin, tama siya. Next is yung the limit of 1 minus cosine x all over x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 0. So, ganun lang din gagawin natin. We'll just need to input 0.000001 all over 0.000001. So, 1 minus cosine 0.000001, then 0.000001. Equal natin siya. So, this will be equal to 0. So, it means tama. Pareho sila nito. Okay? And pareho rin sila nito. Next will be the limit of tangent x all over x as x approaches to 0. This must be equal to 1. Okay? So, ganun lang din ilalagay natin. Tangent of 0.000001 all over 0.000001. Okay? Lagay natin dito. Tangent of 0.000001 all over 0.000001. Okay? And this will be equal to 1. So, by means of your calculator, napatunayan natin that those are true. The other way to prove our special limits ng trigonometric function is by means of the L'Hopital's rule. So, ano naman po yung L'Hopital's rule at Kim? Magagamit mo siya kapag maalam ka ng mag-differentiate. Okay? Gumamit ng differentiation. And kapag ang nagiging answer mo when, for example, you have the limit of f of x and over g of x as x approaches to 0 o kaya pwede ring infinity, ganyan. Kapag ang nagiging answer mo po ay 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity, kapag nagiging ganyan yung answer mo, pwede mong gamitin yung L'Hopital's rule. Okay? Kasi ibig sabihin, you will have no definite na answer. So, dito, paano ba natin ginagamit yung L'Hopital's rule? You just have to take the derivative of your numerator and also the derivative of your denominator separately. So, ibig sabihin, ang mangyayari is, you will get the limit of your numerator. So, i-derive mo siya ng isang beses. Tapos, ganun din yung denominator mo as x approaches to 0 or kung ano man yung limit mo. If hindi pa siya, if ganito pa din yung magiging sagot mo, you'll just need to derive it again. So, get the second derivative of your numerator and your denominator hanggang sa may makuha ka na pong answer. So, ganyan yung L'Hopital's rule. And we will use that para i-prove yung special limits natin. By L'Hopital's rule, let's prove that the limit of sine x all over x as x approaches to 0 will be equal to 1. I-derive po natin yung ating numerator. So, that will be the derivative of sine x. Okay? At i-derive din natin yung ating denominator, the limit of x, as x approaches to 0. So, kapag ginawa natin to, ang derivative po ng sine x is cosine x all over ang derivative ng x is 1. So, you'll get the answer cosine x. Ngayon, iti-take mo na po yung limit niya as x approaches to 0. So, this will be cosine 0 and that will be equal to 1. Meaning, we have 1 here, we have 1 here. This is correct. Next special limit will be the limit of 1 minus cosine x all over x as x approaches to 0. So, we will prove that this will be equal to 0. So, let's take the limit ng derivative of 1 minus cosine x all over the derivative of x as x approaches to 0. So, we'll have the limit of derivative, paghiwalayin po natin, derivative ng 1 minus derivative ng cosine x all over the derivative of x as x approaches to 0. So, this will be equal to the limit of, ang derivative ng 1 will be 0. Ang derivative naman po ng cosine x will be equal to negative sine x. All over, derivative ng x will be equal to 1. So, let's take the limit as x approaches to 0. And this will be the limit of sine x all over 1 as x approaches to 0. And pwede na po nating i-plug in si 0 dito sa x natin. So, that will be equal to sine 0 and this will be equal to 0. Meaning, this is correct. Okay? And the last one will be the limit of tangent x all over x as x approaches to 0. So, this must be equal to 1. Patunayan natin yan. So, ang derivative, let's take the derivative of tangent x all over the derivative of x. Okay, let's take the limit as x approaches to 0. So, this will be equal to the limit as x approaches to 0 nang ang derivative po ng tangent x will be equal to secant squared x all over ang derivative ng x will be 1. So, we have the limit of secant squared x as x approaches to 0. Or, simply, we can take the limit, syempre, si secant squared x equal po siya sa 1 over cosine squared x. So, let's have the limit of 1 all over cosine squared x. Okay? So, i-plug in na natin si 0 dito. So, we will have 1 over cosine squared of 0 and this will be equal to 1 over 1 and 1 over 1 will be 1. Okay? So, napatunayan natin that this is